She was like, are you in there? Because his thing was so tiny. Like, if I can't, sounds whatever, if I can't feel it, I don't feel there's no connection.
Shout it out and let them know. It's the Davina and Sabrina Show. These girls got a lot of sass, topics with a lot of class. Davina and Sabrina Show. Spill the tea, drink it up. These girls really know what's up. Spill the tea, drink it up. These girls really know what's up. Davina, Sabrina, it's Davina and Sabrina. Davina and Sabrina Show.
Welcome to another episode of the Davina and Sabrina Show. Woo, woo, woo. Hi guys, so don't forget to follow and subscribe at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and YouTube at the Davina and Sabrina Show.
Thank you so much. We are back again. We have our lovely friend and top fan, Natalie. Hi. She's going to be coming and chiming in and then talking about, does size matter? Or is it the motion in the ocean? But before we do, just tell us a little bit about yourself. You are, what you do.
Yeah, so, my name's Natalie. I'm a woman in construction, a black woman in construction, so I'm a surveyor. I've also got a side hustle. I sell sea moss, Nestor sea moss. There's an online shop, www.nestorseamoss.com. I'm a mother. I've got 2 boys. My big one's at university. He's also studying construction, so I'm really proud of him. And then I've got my little one that keeps me really, really busy. So yeah, that's me, really.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to speak with us today. So, as I said, does size matter? Or is it the motion in the ocean? But before we start getting into this, our little girly chats, just a bit of statistics. So, medical term for penis smaller than average is called a micropenis. Your doctor would usually diagnose it if it has a stretched penile length of 3.67 inches. And that's like erect.
What does that look like?
So what does that look like?
Let's have a look.
3.67 inches looks like this.
Jesus.
Erect.
Well, that is tiny.
Goodness.
Would you very tiny?
Yeah. So that's what we would call a. It doesn't talk much about the girth, but I would imagine the girth is also like this as well. So
That thin?
yeah, probably
Okay.
around. But so that's 3.67 on average. The average men, believe it or not, what do you think the average men? If this is like called a micropenis,
I'd say the average size is probably about erected.
yeah.
5.5 inches.
I would say about 5 as well.
You're right, actually. It's 5.25 on average, obviously. So that's about this.
Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah, decent.
That's fine.
Okay, so that's on average. And anyway, this usually affects, this usually affects, actually, believe it or not, 1 in 200 male, considering that's like millions of males really in the UK then. 1 in 200 males have micropenises.
But is that specific to certain culture?
It hasn't really said.
Asian people tend to have
Small
It's
ones.
known.
Yeah.
To have a small one.
To have
Do you
smaller.
have have you, is this through like
No, it's
word
known,
of mouth?
it's
Or
fact.
Yeah, no, it is known, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Like, maybe like, I don't want to start naming like
So they'll have it smaller than this?
because they're quite petite,
Petite,
so it's because you can't have a tiny person with a big long.
can.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
Well, you can, but generally they tend to be smaller. That's what I've heard. And I've also heard, I don't know if I should say this, that their women tend to be smaller there to accommodate for the
so
that's why some guys
nature's
like
amazing.
going with people from that certain part of Asia. So I've heard. Yeah.
Okay. Well, though this may seem small and may come with its own, issues and embarrassment, if that's what you may feel. And actually, what I did read, though this is quite small, I read somewhere back in the day, I don't know how long ago, which is it's a bit odd. It said when some males were born with micropenises, I guess it was even more micro, that the parents would decide to not bring them up as a male.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was so small. Now, that is something apparently it said generations ago, but I thought, well, that sounds a little bit like the generation now, to be fair. But anyway, I don't have too much more facts on
male,
that.
to be fair.
They're still a male, but
and
it
then
was
have
so
the male
force them?
hormone.
Yeah.
So,
but also the reason why, okay, so going back into it, why it is so small, there is the chromosome. Why it's so small? Like there's
oh right, I
is
see.
like there's an issue with it.
It might
basically.
they may have
It makes it a bit
female.
more of exactly. So
okay.
that's where it is.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, though, people may just frown their nose at such a micro penis. On the other side, having an overly large penis can also come with its own issues.
Implications.
So some of them, they would be struggling through. Could you imagine? That you've got it's so big that you're and not even probably erect, like it's just there. Like you've gone to job interviews. I know if I was interviewing somebody and I had an extremely large penis and it's just bulging through, you think they're erect.
You'd get
So there's a lot of embarrassment, a bit like pain with sexual positions and things like that. So that in itself comes with its own struggles. But also I think because truthfully, I feel like there's a lot of discussion about penis sizes and so forth, which makes it a thing. There's this notion that the bigger, the better, somewhat.
Absolutely.
So, tell us,
in
but before I
everything,
go
isn't
into
it?
this, what do you think the largest penis size is being recorded?
Think about 12 inches maybe.
12 inches?
Yeah, the longest on record, yeah. about
Longest on
12,
record,
yeah.
12 inches.
Yeah, 12 and a half, yeah.
Okay, so
I'd
that's
say
what...
I'd say inches. I
like
would
this.
say I'd say it's in its 20s.
20?
In his 20s.
You think you'll be like this? Okay.
The largest on record.
It's a floppy.
Actually, to be precise, you're close. It is 18 point... Where is it? Where did I see it? It's 18 point something. Someone in Mexico, this size. Could you imagine?
No.
I wonder if he was ever intimate with anyone, like...
I mean, you probably managed to get it to there. That's insane. But yeah, 18 inches is so far the biggest, largest penis recorded. So tell us, Natalie, does size actually matter for you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think it needs to be adequate.
What's adequate?
I'd say about 5-6 inches to satisfy. To get enjoyment for both parties as well. Too small, it's not really doing nothing.
No.
It's just kind of more a tickle, a finger.
But
Which, I mean, some women can orgasm
Through a little finger.
just a little finger. But
You want to feel the
you
ting.
want to feel it.
feel it.
You definitely want to feel something.
yeah.
So yeah, me personally, I'd rather have
Larger.
bigger, absolutely,
Okay.
than a smaller.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Davina?
Because you can work with the larger one, you can't work with the small one. That's
Don't
it.
think so.
Not how.
I'll explain. Maybe. For God. That's the thing, you're right. Is there
can't.
more that you can't?
How?
Well, that's the point, though. Does the size actually, like, what about, okay, so you have a bigger one. Okay, right. It's bigger penis, nice 6-7 inches, nice girth. But he never makes you orgasm. However,
You teach him.
No,
Yeah, I was
no,
gonna
but
say,
just
you can
say,
teach, yeah.
though, you had one choice to go with somebody that had a nice penis size, decent, like you say, and you never orgasm, or one that is,
I'll go with the bigger one.
and always orgasm with this.
Can't
You
with
can't
that.
orgasm with that, girl.
Not all the
You're not
time.
gonna be able to feel
Maybe.
that at all.
Maybe if you're thinking about someone else, like you're being intimate with that person, but your mind's not really there.
Yeah,
You're thinking about someone else.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, men do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've done it. Like, you're there, but you're not there.
Okay.
So you're not really into that person. But you could be, because if you're not that sexually active or you're not that sexual as a woman, because sex is not everything, let's face it.
It's a big part.
It's a big part. But it's
To
not
some
everything,
people,
yeah.
but to some people it isn't.
Fair enough.
And people will go for years and years and years and not be intimate with their partners. But there's obviously some connection that keeps them there, whether it's the person's really nice, monetary reasons, financial, whatever. But you know, some people will stay together, married. I don't know if I'd say happily married because no one knows what goes on behind closed doors, but it works, you know. But me personally, I think a lot of the time, sometimes that woman might cheat, may have someone on the side, but they're not going to leave their partner just to satisfy that need.
Yeah. All right. So size matters. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, I've never had micro, but I think sometimes too big can be problematic. Because one, you can't go full throttle, if you catch my drift.
When it's too big.
Yeah, when it's too big. Like, I was going to say I prefer like medium, like Natalie said, maybe like 5.5 to 6. Correct. Yeah, that's a decent size for me. But any bigger than that, oh my God, I'm going to feel it in my bloody womb. Like, it's just...
But I think it's also the man...
There's no pleasure there.
If he has got a large penis, he needs to know how to use it. And unfortunately, some men, they have this ego.
they think it's
I've
like-
got a big penis,
Yeah.
They
blah,
don't
blah,
do
blah.
nothing else.
And it's like they want to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's like, if you feel pain, they feel like,
I'm
you should feel
pleasing
pain.
her.
You should feel it there in the stomach. And it's no, it shouldn't be like that. So I think if a man has, he's got to know how to use it. And not just satisfy himself, but satisfy his partner. And but that comes in time, and I think it depends, because some men, I personally think that men who have been in longer relationships, they make better sexual
lovers,
partners
100%.
and lovers.
Yeah.
Whereas a guy who goes from woman to woman, I think they're shit.
Yeah.
They're shit in bed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Even with
Because-
a big penis, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's through my experience anyway, and like
So true.
people I've spoken to. So men that tend to have been in long-term relationships,
That I agree
they
with.
tend
Yeah.
to make better.
They're more about
lovers.
pleasing the woman rather than like, I'm just getting my
Absolutely.
kicks off for the night. Yeah.
So a man's been, in a 20-year relationship, but he has got a micro penis. He knows how to work it.
He's probably got loads of money, let's face it.
So
Yeah.
would
Yeah, that's
they had to work
something has to
harder or
balance
something.
out, yeah.
So would you consider that then? Because he's had to
Micro
learn
penis
how
for
to
lots
deal
of
with
money,
that little
yeah.
micro penis for 20 for
Do you know what? For me,
I think you
money's
would.
not everything. Obviously,
You travel around the world, you're all
yeah, it
sorted.
gives you choices, options, and
the
things
toys,
like
you can buy
that.
all the toys in
Yeah,
the
you
world.
can get a
whilst
vibrator.
experiment
I think
together.
if he was a really, really nice
you go.
person,
Yeah.
I think I could probably try to work with it.
But he'd have to have money then, is that what you said? Or if he'd had no money, but
No, yeah. Well, he doesn't have to be like a millionaire,
No,
but
so
And there's things you can do now. Can't you do like enlargements and stuff? Maybe.
yeah, you can. But I'm sure they come with their risk.
Yeah. Might fall
And
off
I
completely.
don't think you can get those things done on the NHS. You'd probably have to go to some.
But if he's rich,
clinic
he
somewhere.
could sort it, innit?
But I don't think it's as straightforward. I don't know. I don't know anyone that's had the operation. And to be fair, I don't think many men are going to come forward and say, yeah, I've had my penis enlarged. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Gosh.
But yeah, I think it's sometimes a problem being too big. Yeah, sometimes it can just, I just feel it takes away all the pleasure when it's just like, oh my God, nah. So I would prefer average, but then would I want complete like a micro one?
If you had to
If I had to choose between too small or too big.
like you couldn't, nice size, but he never made you orgasm because he didn't know how to work it.
but then,
But then you have to small-
isn't it your job as his woman
Yeah, to teach him.
teach
Yeah.
him?
But let's just talk. Yeah, but I'm trying to get to a point of like, does it really? So
But
does
I
it
don't
matter?
think
So
if you're
away
in a
that-
relationship
Yeah.
with someone, I'd find it hard to believe that if you're in a relationship, that man, no matter how big or small, he could never make you orgasm.
can do foreplay.
I'm
Yeah,
sure,
because there's a lot of things.
Because a lot of the
there's
time it's not
some-
always through penetration anyway.
Yeah,
And that's the
it.
point, though. Like, for us women, it really isn't really, you know, it is more the stimulation on the outside.
Absolutely.
It does help. No, you disagree?
But no. That's true what you said. But it's not just about the climaxing. It's about just feeling, connecting. Like, if I feel like, I don't know if you guys have remembered this episode from Sex and the City where Samantha was sleeping with this guy, and she said, "Oh," he was like, "Yeah, do you feel it?" And he goes, she was like, "Are you in there?" Because his thing was so tiny. Like, if I can't, so it sounds whatever. If I can't feel it, I don't feel there's no
connected.
connection. So, and that's not about climaxing. So maybe in that respect, I would go for the bigger, but then obviously you would have to not be so aggressive or whatever. And yeah, I'll have to teach him how to make me, you know, come, but not being like bam, bam, like the porn videos, because that would just finish my insides.
Yeah.
Because there's this notion, though, like, I mean, maybe it's moving away from that now, but, you know, it's always been, the bigger, the better. And personally, for me...
But that's everything in life, isn't it? Everything that's bigger is
But
better.
I don't think the bigger the better. Like,
I'm smaller the better.
No, I'm not quite saying that. Like, I would be happy with the average. I'm good with the average. I think 5. And actually, I'll be honest, I thought the average would have been a bit bigger and stuff, but that's a good size with a good girth and so forth. That works. But, and I have had 2 extremes before in my past. I've had really big, like, and the girth, and that was, I'll be honest, I had to be really in there emotionally, physically, and it was fine. But then, you know, when you're not feeling it was just too much. It was pain. I prefer pleasure over pain. I really do.
It's too painful.
But I've also had, I'm not even gonna lie, ladies, all right? I've also had this, and I'm talking about even the girth was like this. I've
Pencil.
had this. It literally was, and I remember the time I thought, but this is why for me, I just don't think, like, I would have worked with it. I really would have. Why? Because I liked him. The only issue with this person, and I blame it down to he has such a big ego. And gosh, he might end up watching this. I don't care though, because this is many, many years ago. Like, and I'm not giving no names, obviously, you know. But it was, I would have worked with it. Did me make me orgasm? Yes, he could have done more. Yes, he could have. And that was the problem. He must have known, right, that it was so small, and that's why he has such a big ego. I remember watching this.
But did you ever have that? Did you have a conversation?
I tried to. So,
And did you feel it?
no, I.
Like, when you were doing,
I didn't feel it. I'm over
like you said,
one
he
time,
must know.
Well, one time, oh my God, one time I was like, can you, I'm not even gonna lie, I had to say yes. I didn't feel it though.
Oh, you lied. You like, yes. Oh my God.
I was like,
that's even more
set up to
off-putting.
fail. Yeah, the relationship was never going to happen.
But
You were lying.
no, but I would have, because I liked him, and I still orgasm.
But you'd
because
fake
it's
that
not-
for
it's
years
not-
and years.
No, but I didn't fake it, the orgasm. I would still orgasm. He would still maybe orgasm when we were in this, but it wasn't because for me it's the outside penetration that matters the most. And I mean, he did head, and also, so like, to be fair, the first time I met him, he did head, because I guess, he really does that, because he
knows.
He knew. So
He knows.
I didn't know at that point necessarily. No, actually I did, because I remember kissing him one time and I thought, oh, not really, you know when they erect. And I'm not even gonna lie. I was remember being in the taxi, I thought, oh, okay. But I didn't think too much of it until I saw it. But hold on, let me go.
No, it's not.
But
Ask
think,
you a
weren't you
question. Okay,
disappointed?
okay,
Like, when you
okay.
saw it, like,
So,
especially when
I
you said
really
he's a
liked
nice
him.
person, my heart would have sunk.
Oh, Lord, I thought this was the
What
one.
would you have done?
It's a difficult one.
It is,
isn't
because
it?
you can't do anything in that moment. But I get the size. But the only issue, he didn't have the motion in the ocean, and that's the
that's
issue.
how to work
He
it.
did.
Yeah.
If he
Oh,
did,
that's
I would have
double
gone with it, because I
minus.
remember another time as well. He was so in his clouds, because I remember we was watching. He goes, "Oh," he goes, "Gosh, that's really big, isn't it?" And I was like, "Actually," and I made it a point. I was like, "Actually, that's average." I couldn't help myself.
sorry, you was watching
a
a
porno, like,
And he said-
he goes, "Oh, that's really."
Sounds
the way
a
he
bit
goes, "Gosh,
strange,
that's
I'm
really
not gonna
big."
lie.
And I was like, "I'll be honest, that's actually average," and it was just average. And I remember a couple of times I tried to bring it up, because I was like, but he shut it down, and that was the issue. He wasn't ready to talk about, and that became a problem. That wouldn't work. But what I'm saying is that if he had said, you know what, yeah, my penis is small, it's a micro penis, but I want to pleasure you.
Yeah, I like you. I want us
I
to
would have
work.
gone and I would have got married to him and that wouldn't have been a thing. I just can't deal with people that are hiding behind their truth. You can't. What can you do? Unless you're gonna you can't do anything.
It's pride. It's hard for a
He
man.
was too prideful. This
hard.
is like in my late 20s. It was too prideful. And that's
Sorry,
the
can I
issue.
just ask, where was he from?
I can't say. He's gonna know. So I can't.
Was
I'm
he
not gonna
like
say.
African? Or
No, he was both. He was mixed. Okay, let's do it.
He was African
He was half African
Oh.
and half Caribbean.
Why do I
But I'm
feel
not
I know
gonna
who
say
this
where
person
from
is?
because
Yeah.
let's
not go
be
there.
real. But let's not go there. Let's just talk about. For me, the point is that I would have worked with it. So I don't think it's a size. But don't get it wrong. Ideally, would I want that? No.
No.
No,
This
it's the
is
fact
a
that
good
if I-
size.
if I-
Like, this
well,
is perfect.
If I was a man and I had a small one, I would learn like
That's the point.
But then you can't have
Then
a
you wouldn't-
small
and
one
you know
and
you
not
have
know
the
how
conf-
to use. Nah,
Yeah.
that's like
There's a lack of confidence, you know. But I wonder if men
But maybe
actually
that person's
do.
changed now that
Might-
they're older. He was quite young. You said in your 20s, so
You might has he settled down? Has he got married?
He
Had
ended up-
children?
Oh, I can't say too much. I'll be honest because
you can say if they got married.
no, I don't know. He's not married.
Did he have kids?
In the end, he did. Yes.
Okay.
Because actually, one of the things, one of the issues, Michael, is there could be issues with
Yeah.
he did and stuff.
Oh,
which
right.
I'm not
Oh,
going to say anymore,
okay.
just because let's protect people here.
Yeah,
Who it
yeah, we
is.
don't
But
wanna, like,
but the
disclose,
issue is that I think like men should just be more like we will talk about our stuff like maybe the equivalent is our breast or our bum and things like that. I know, but the penis is a big part of it, and I do wonder if men actually talk to themselves. Can I ask?
Can I say
yeah.
something as well? Like, I think with us women, we generally we tend to be like, oh, you know, he's a nice guy. You know, it doesn't matter if he hasn't got a big penis. It doesn't matter,
it doesn't matter.
if. I'm sorry,
lying to themselves.
men will not date you. Like some men, if you got small boobs, your
Yeah,
bum's flat.
flat bum.
They
You
have
know,
their
you're not.
preferences.
They
Yeah.
have. So why is it
Why
when it
can't
comes?
we?
Why can't we have a preference? Like, I don't want a man that's got a small willy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a man will blatantly say, "Nah, she's pretty, but she's got a flat chest, or should have gotten a big butt." Do you know what I mean? Like, men will do it all the time. So
All the
it's like,
time.
why is it us women that, you know, it's kind of no, we should put up with it because he's nice. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy, yeah.
You're right in that because we're always the one that tries that. Oh, we need to be accommodating because we're
Yeah.
princesses.
And the thing
stuff
is,
like
men
that.
are not. They
But
generally,
that's changing
they
a lot
tend.
now. Women's standards, trust me.
Yeah, they
Always
are.
wanted
But if it's that
100%.
important, then how
6 foot
quickly
and-
do you sleep? Do you sleep with men? I don't know how quickly, but do you sleep with them a bit quicker, just or ask to whip it out so you can see? Because if that's a requirement,
Not really. Like, to me, I think getting to know the person, I wouldn't just jump into bed with someone because to me, intimacy is not just the act of having sex. It's like, I need to be connected to you. Like, I want someone that I can talk to that's intelligent. I can't deal with someone that is just got no intelligence.
Right.
You know, no common sense. I'm not saying you need to have a master's or
yeah.
PhD, but I need to be
Doing
able to
something.
have a decent conversation with you. You know, we can sit down and we can talk. You know, I'm not like, you're just street or you're just. No, there's nothing wrong with being street because there are a lot of people that are street and they're very, very intelligent people. But, you know,
that mentality, though.
yeah,
you're
that
still not
mentality. I
necessarily
need,
advancing.
and to me, I need to connect to you on that level.
Okay. So you've connected on that level. Lovely looking guy.
Yeah.
Whips it out. Micro penis.
I'm not going to lie, I'll be disappointed.
But can't you tell sometimes when you
But
meet,
sometimes
can
you can
bulge
tell.
through the trousers. You don't
And the
No,
thing
actually you
is,
can't. You
the
don't
way
always.
guys act as well, because when they've got a small one, they act
they have
different.
big egos.
You're right.
Yeah.
They do.
But not
Small
even
dick
necessarily.
mentality,
They're
yeah.
just, sometimes they have the big egos, but sometimes
They have the lack of confidence.
they lack of confidence.
Depends.
And then you think, okay, you know, they might not be touchy as much as, you know, if you're kind of dealing with a guy or speaking to a guy that's got like, who's well endowed. So they might not be wanting to rush to kind of get you in bed. And like I said, I just think, you know, they lack that confidence because they know. So they tend to be nice men because they know they've got a kind of make up for it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
but
not a bad thing. Oh,
it's not. But I think,
So do men have small penises?
Pardon?
Do nice men have small penises?
No. I
think
would
they-
disagree with that.
I think,
I would
well,
definitely disagree.
I don't know. I don't
some
would
men,
disagree.
but then some men that have got...
No, we don't.
I would disagree with that as well. I would. Like, there's
Not
some
all of
amazing
them.
men that have good, well endowed, nice, perfect.
Yeah, and they're nice
but-
boys. Or
Yeah,
nice
no,
young men.
that's
But-
right. No, I totally agree, but... Yeah.
But it's true. But you know, there's been, you've obviously had your fair share.
I don't think I've had a tiny
Have you
one.
not?
No, I've had two big.
Tiny.
I've never.
Yeah. So again, same question. If
But
everything,
the thing is, I think when I was in a relationship with this person that did, lovely guy, had a really small...
oh,
I didn't really like him that much.
Oh, so you didn't even like him anyway?
So if you'd liked
Not-
him, you might have allowed.
I think at the time I was a lot younger,
Did he make you orgasm? And how big actually? What's
tiny and skinny.
Yeah, the skinny. And then what?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, so me and you've had
Tiny, and it was skinny.
and it was really skinny.
And lovely guy, but
Oh my god, I wonder if it's the same person.
no,
Okay.
he wasn't.
We don't know.
I didn't like, no.
No, I know.
Oh my god.
Because he wasn't Caribbean and
Oh, okay,
African
that's
as well,
fine,
yeah.
okay. Oh,
But
what was
yeah.
he? Oh, you can't.
But
Oh, was he Asian then?
no,
Oh, okay.
black.
Oh, it's black. Okay,
But
not-
yeah,
Okay.
Sorry, Asian.
do you know what? Lovely guy, but I don't think I liked him enough. But then again, I was a lot younger. I didn't have any children at that time. You know, I was a lot slimmer. I think I looked a bit more sexier. So I was like, you know,
was like,
so
okay.
I was like, I can get like most guys.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day when you're like, yeah. So it's like, whereas now, like, obviously I'm more mature. You know, it's not just about sex for me now.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe if I'd met that type of person now,
You might have given him.
I might have given him a chance because, yeah, I'm just more mature and it's not just about sex.
That. The
However,
intimacy.
it wouldn't be my preference.
Yes.
I wouldn't want that by choice. But I think, you know, I'm a
work with
mother.
it.
I'm a mother now. So to me, there's other more
Priorities.
important things going on. And I've got, like you said, priorities, different priorities. So yeah, maybe I would.
Hold on. Just backtracking what you just said. Right. So you said you dated this dude that had a small penis.
Yeah.
You said you'd do that again.
It, not by choice, but I'm just not by choice. It wouldn't be choice. But if I was to meet someone and they were a really nice person, I think my attitude is. I think I'm more mature. I'm more mature now.
Sex is not the only.
It's not the only
basically,
thing.
no.
So okay, so
I wouldn't just not be with him, even though it wouldn't be a preference. I'm not gonna lie, it wouldn't be my preference.
You would have to have liked him first. If you did it before, if you found out before you really liked him, you could easily say, let's be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you got to know him before and really got to like him, you'll give him a chance.
Possibly.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
I
You are
don't
chatting.
believe that
You're
either.
chatting
Sorry,
breeze.
Based on the
Natalie.
conversation,
No, you're chatting.
Natalie,
You are
no,
chatting the living breeze.
I don't believe that.
No,
Natalie.
you are lying out your ass. You're gonna tell me. You're gonna tell me some don's gonna come here with micro branch, and you're gonna be okay with it because he's a nice person. You lying sack. You lying sack.
Natalie,
Don't take. Listen, don't take man for cartoon in this building, please.
Well,
Nah,
like
you
I
just said at the beginning of this episode you prefer bigger. You just said.
Of course, but what woman doesn't?
So you're good. So,
Let's be honest.
But if you were getting on and you just want someone to settle down with, live your last whatever,
and that can't
Okay.
satisfy you sexually. Did he satisfy you sexually?
No.
So why would you go back? Don't get me upset, please.
Actually,
Don't get me upset in this. You are a liar.
if you had loads of money, maybe.
Oh, it's getting hot in here.
My
Okay, I think
lord.
that the thing is that if he did satisfy you sexually, then the size may not matter so much. But if he didn't, then that would be an issue.
But like I said, I was a lot younger
Yeah.
at the time.
But now, this is what he's saying that you would.
Your priorities have changed.
My priorities have definitely changed.
Orgasms are still the same.
Yes, But I've got different priorities.
Yes,
now.
that's fine. But sometimes you come home from work, the kids are away, your man's there, you want him to just nyam your front.
Yeah,
True. But then he can
well,
do
he'll have
that.
to be doing a lot.
Yeah, and then what? When it comes down to crunch time, he's going to be knocking the back out of you, and he's just getting you so close to the edge, and then stops. And you're going to tell me you're going to be. Look at your face. Look at your face right now. Let's see this camera. See this camera.
Okay.
4K to backside. Don't lie on this camera, Natalie. Jeez. Girl, stop getting lies on the show, please. Stop getting liars on the show.
Not me.
It's you, Sabrina.
No, I'm not.
No, stop bringing lighters on the show.
The thing, just try to be mature about it. But the reality is that if you really had to pick one, the size does really matter. For you, the size really matters. For me, it actually doesn't, as long as you are open with it and can work with it. But I'm glad I don't have to experience that anymore. I'm not even gonna lie, but yeah.
Shall I tell you where
You wouldn't want it again, put it this way.
Yeah.
Ideally not, but I would work with it.
Shall I tell you?
I would.
Shall I tell you where it wouldn't matter? You know, like after sometimes menopause, women don't have any desire.
Yeah.
I could do it then, and he's
So we'll come back and have.
But that's not your choice, though. If you've got menopause, I swear I'm going to throw something at everybody, you know.
No, but there's some people
They
who
don't-
after
they're not
menopause,
sexual,
but I've got
yeah.
friends who are not really interested in it. If I'm not, then he can have a small, he can have nothing.
Yeah, but that's natural
But
selection.
there's
That's the
gonna be
nature
times where
deciding
you
for
might
you, not you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nature
So your
deciding
answer
for
still
you.
remains. It matters.
It
size.
does.
It
Yes.
matters
It must
currently
matter.
now
It
because I
matters.
like, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will stick with mine. It if I really had to, it doesn't, as long as you can work with it. So there you have it. But I actually think I know like I'm 2 out of 1, like 2 against 1. But for out there, the majority, I think for a lot more women, it doesn't matter as much as men think it does. I want to ask you questions of, do men actually measure their penises out of, have you ever measured your penis?
I know what my thing's saying, innit?
But do men
I know what my thing's saying. I
have that conversation?
No,
and measure?
we don't. We don't have that conversation.
Maybe we should.
But
They
you
should.
look in the mirror though, and you'd be like,
Oh, I'm a 6.
Yeah, I look at my thing and I'd be like, yeah,
size.
man's
Maybe
blessed.
that's what it is.
oh,
Men
when
should-
you're doing the thing, like you can, you know.
Listen,
there's
I
certain
watch. Listen,
angles, you're like,
I watch
yeah.
my thing when I'm in the middle of the act or when I just come out of the shower. I watch my thing in it. I don't go ahead and measure it. I know what I'm working with, but I don't go and measure it.
Do men do?
wonder
do
if
I
men
think men
measure.
should measure it so
How
that.
can you say you're 6 inches, you're this?
You
People
can
must
kind of
measure
tell
it.
though.
No, I know what mine is. I know what mine is. I've measured mine. I don't know if the
I
man
think
them.
if it was close to micro penis, you probably would measure it then. If you know it's good, you don't need to measure it because you're like, it's
But how
good.
do they know X amount of people are 6%? People must be measuring it.
No, people. That's what. Yeah, it's true. Actually, they must.
It's probably come from a urology exam or
Doctors as
something.
well, obviously, you know, they have to, you know.
Do they measure the?
Well, they do actually. In fairness, when
But that's not
babies
the
are
whole-
born, do
the
they not
whole-
measure like things? Their feet, they don't measure the penis.
I've got two.
But when you're an adult, like all the doctors are not all going around.
Okay.
Oh, we've got to measure your,
No,
your penis.
no.
All right. Well,
It's
I guess when they go,
interesting, like where they get their stats.
Okay, right. Thank you. We've like literally reached our time. Thank you so much for
Thanks for
our
having
time.
me.
Goes quick, but
Lying
but
Ross.
we got there in the end. We got there in the end. She said it matters. She said it matters. Me, I say it doesn't matter. But please continue blessing me as I have done. So, we have this game that we play called D&S Pick or Treat. This is a pick. This is a question that you are going to have to answer. If you do not want to answer the question because it is too difficult, you then can pick something from the treat, which is a treat box. So whatever the treat may be. All right?
the treat?
It's a
Us?
treat
For you.
to us or
Oh.
something. Yeah, it's all.
Okay.
But not necessarily. You're not
So
treating
I've got
yourself.
a question. You
You have to start with the question
Yeah.
first. You only get to pick the treat if you do not wish to answer the question.
Gosh. Get 3 tattoos of your mother's face on your private. No, I definitely wouldn't do that. Or steamroll a field or poppies. What poppies or kittens?
Puppies. I think.
Puppies
Yeah,
or
yeah.
kittens.
So steamroll a field full of puppies or kittens.
Oh, a field full of. I'd have to go for the roll with the puppies.
You're going to kill like thousands and millions.
So you'd
But I
steamroll.
wouldn't have my mother's.
Oh, maybe change that to your dad.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Sorry.
I think they're both bad.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah.
One of your parents.
I couldn't choose.
You'll have to. Okay, it's up to you
she'll have
because
to,
you've got a
'cause
kitten as
I
well.
couldn't. Yeah, I've got a cat.
So you
Well,
wouldn't
it's my
choose.
son's cat, and I couldn't.
Then you got to pick a trick.
Gotta pick a treat.
Are you sure you wanna?
A treat?
Yeah.
Do I
Pick
get
a
a
treat.
treat?
No.
Who gets a treat?
One of
Well, it
those
depends
two.
what it says, but it's more towards us. You sure don't want to answer
Next
that
month, I'm
question?
including myself in this,
No,
man.
she
Yeah.
can't. She
I
can't,
can't, no.
You can't answer that.
All right, let's go pick the treat.
God, why would I pick this one? Trust me. Oh.
It's your karma for like just being undecisive whether you want.
So what is
Big or
this? The
not.
treat
Yeah.
for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to get the treat.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
No, you treating us.
Oh, wow. Take you guys to France for a day.
Well, you
Well,
are
maybe one
black woman
day.
in construction, girl. You are
I'm
paving
not
the
there
way.
just
You
yet.
are.
One day.
Oh, yeah, of course I would.
Yeah, we'll put that down.
absolutely.
In the diary.
Girls trip.
Yeah.
Actually,
I would.
That's gonna be which
And we
girls
should
trip?
document it, actually.
I would.
We'll do a girls trip.
Penis-sized part 2.
And you go around France to see
like-
what French men have
Yeah,
big
how
small
they went
penises.
down in
Anyway,
France.
thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Thank
gracing us
you
with your
for having
presence.
me.
And please continue to share the love, like, subscribe. We are on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram under the Davina and Sabrina Show. Love you lots, guys. Take care. Mwah. See you
Till
next time.
Bye.